Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Pumps. Today I have Wolf, the owner of Wolfy Bar in London, and he is behind Wolfy ARC20 token. It's an ARC20 token that has utility, so it has a real world business behind it. Wolfy on to explain how it works. Go ahead there, Wolf, and introduce yourself and tell us about yourself and how it all works, please.
Yeah, glad to be here. I'm Wolf, the owner of Wolfy Bar. I own it with my wife, Marika. We own a couple of businesses, but the Wolfies we created about 4.5 years ago. It's named after my son, Little Wolf, actually, and that's why it's Wolfie. So I'm not Wolfie; he's called Wolfie, and it's got a very rich history in context of crypto. It was built from my crypto investments in 2019, or financed through that, and we've been accepting crypto in there from the very beginning. So we started with Bitcoin, and we now accept Bitcoin Cash and a bunch of other coins also as payment for any products or services within Wolfies. But then a couple of years, well, not a couple of years ago, about a year and a half ago, we decided that we're going to launch an NFT tied to the business. So the NFT in Wolfie Spar has got a bunch of utility. The first one being physical items. So you get t-shirts, hoodies, caps, beer, coffee, cups, depending on the amount of NFTs you purchase that get sent out to you. All with the specific Wolfie Spar NFT branding, which is 5 characters. So wolf, a she wolf, wolf cup, English bulldog, and Persian cat, all hand drawn also. So whenever you see our NFTs, you'll see they're quite high quality. And we launched the NFT with the physical items sent out, but also attachment to the restaurant itself. So if you own a Wolfie Sport NFT, you get a coffee every day for free. You get discounts between 10 and 30% depending on the amount of NFTs you own. And then the other thing we did with that was that we're going to take the funds from the NFT and expand Wolfie Sport. So we're going to open up more trucks and venues, and then we're going to do a profit share with the community members of the NFT. And then also the NFT holders are part of the whole process. So if you're in my Discord and you're an NFT holder, you would be part of the decision making and the voting aspect and all of that. But then to facilitate that, we also launched a coin called Wolfy on the KRC20 space. And the idea behind that is that all the profits that we're going to make from our venues that's going to go back to the holders are actually used to purchase Wolfy coin and then redistributed to the holders in Wolfy coin. And a fraction of it's also used to keep the treasury up in the process. So overall, there's quite a few aspects to this, which is quite unique in the Web3 space. I mean, one, the NFT is a super high utility NFT that no one really has. No one has a established business that they're using to expand upon. They all have these pursuits or dreams or visions that they pursue, but we've almost gone the other way. We already started the business, made it successful, and then attached the NFT to it. So it's brand extension and growth. And then the other aspect of it that's quite unique is the fact that the coin, even though it's in the meme coin space, is actually more a utility coin because it's actually backed by real products and services. So the unique aspect of this is going to be where the demand of the coin is going to be driven by real demand in regards to products sales, and that would constantly increase in time and expand, especially as we've increased the venues. So it's going to be quite an interesting experiment to see how the tokenomics of this turns out, given that no one else is doing the same thing in this space. But yeah, I think that's the summary of it. We can delve a bit in detail of each one of these points, but that's what we're doing.
And what kind of things are you doing to, like, for myself, for example, I got interested in this only last week actually. So I went on to I'll show you this. So this is what people can do. Basically, it's just a link here, and if you click on it on the X Wolfies Bar X page, it brings you to an NFT page or where you can buy NFTs. So I have 6 of them, but the more NFTs you have, the more Wolfie token you receive. And it depends on obviously how well the business is doing and And all the NFTs, all the money that you pay for the NFTs, they go towards the truck, mobile truck, don't they? The food truck.
Food truck and physical venues. So it's
Right.
the amount of NFTs out there is for a massive expansion or allocated towards that. So the first step is the truck. So originally the plan was to open up the bricks and mortar London Bridge venue, but then as we started progressing through sales, we had an opportunity of opening up trucks at Stratford Mall. So we went out to the community members and said, what do you guys want to do first? Do you want to do the trucks first? Or do you want to do the physical venue first? And the overwhelming vote was towards doing the trucks first rather than the venue. So that's where that direction originated from, um, originally. But yeah, as you say, if you go on my web, you can see the tokens just producing that for me, but all of the details are there on the web page.
Okay. And you also, besides your X, you have a Telegram and a Discord as well.
Yeah, I've got pretty much everything anyhow for the businesses. So I've got the Instagrams and X and the TikToks and the Facebooks and all of these things. And then Telegram is a bit new. So Telegram we only started when we launched the coin, given that a big chunk of the KRC20 community actually communicates on Telegram. So we do have a channel there, or a group of channels that does a bunch of things. So general chat, but we also have announcements. So we would talk about what's happened in a week. So I've got like 3 matrices that I track anyhow, which is my market cap, my NFT sales, and then my top 50 holder movement, to show how much the top 50 holders actually own of Wolfies, how many of those specific holders are NFT holders, and how their what they own has either increased or decreased over the week. And the reason why I do that is because Wolfie's Bar is such a big community driven project, and actually is for people that's more interested in real investment, longevity, a real business. It's good to show people that how stable that aspect of it is, how stable the NFT holders are in regards to the amount of Wolfy coin they own, and that they actually don't sell it and accumulate more of it, but also to show that the revenue share that we do, how that's helping increase the holders' value. And just to add, I mean, we're going to do revenue share in context of the new venues, but we already do revenue share with the holders, which we're doing with the royalties we earn from KSPR bots, with the charge percentage we get from finance. So we provided the liquidity there, of course, and we get a percentage of the fees. And then we also have a bunch of miners that's currently producing mining cash, and that also gets pushed back or funneled back into the community. So we're already doing revenue sharing. We've done 15 million Wolfy coin a week for the last 3 weeks in a row, and we already have the next 2 weeks set up. So it's going really well in that context.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like I'm in Ireland, and there's no businesses around me except in crypto. But like you accept Bitcoin at your bar, and since Chris went out there, you accept Kaspa now. He introduced it to Kaspa, so now you accept Bitcoin and Kaspa. And I think, did you pay for half your bar in Bitcoin as well? Your wife made you sell it,
Yeah,
but
it's
she
a bit
made
of
you
a
sell it at the right time when it was at the peak, so you got very lucky.
yeah, it's a bit of a story. I'll tell it. So I've always invested in things over the years. So I originally wanted to become a trader when I was at school, and then when I was at school, I started learning about technical trading, forex at that stage, and I learned everything you can imagine about trends and supports and Fibonacci's and MACDexes and PCI indexes and all of those things. And I used all of those things to do my investments, and I lost all my money. And then after that, I decided, well, you read a lot of finance books, and I started my studies in economics because I've got a BCom in economics. And started studying towards this and said, okay, you need to use fundamentals. So I started using fundamentals and started tried to build a portfolio and stocks, and I lost all my money. And then after that, I decided, I'm just going to buy things I believe in and which I use. So I started doing that, and I became very successful in regards to my investments over the years. A lot of our businesses, so our salons and our short lettings companies and our properties, all of these things were financed by these investments. But then the first time I saw crypto was about 2012. And when I saw crypto for the first time, I did what everybody did. It's like, digital, what a bunch of nonsense. This means nothing. And I just ignored it. And then in 2019, I got hit by very excessive demand. So our taxman wanted £100,000 from me within 30 days. And after I shit myself, I did my plan A to G, which I usually do. So plan A being how to get me to that point, but not in the timeline that's required, but you'll get there. And then plan G being, let's go bet on horses or go see a loan shark or something. And when I went through the process, I thought, okay, I need to look at crypto again because I read a lot of news. Oh, I used to. I don't know. I don't read news anymore because it's just a mess now. It doesn't mean anything. But it used to be a bit more robust. So I read a lot of news, and you can only read this many times about some dude that's lost a thumb drive with 200 million pounds of Bitcoin on it, and he's looking for it, and not take notice of what the hell is going on. Why is there so many guys with 200 million pounds of Bitcoin on thumb drives? So I went and I thought, okay, I'll analyze the market for what it is. And I looked at crypto for the first time through my economics lens. And when you do that, you need to, of course, measure it against other things, which is fiat. And I did that, and I came to a couple of conclusions. The first conclusion I came to was that crypto actually fits the criteria of money better than fiat in regards to medium of exchange, storage of value, liquidity, all of those things. And then the second conclusion I came to was that there's this bolted on aspect in crypto where you've got this madness of a Ponzi scheme or euphoria or whatever you want to call it, where people are just being driven by excessive emotion. So what that means is when you invest in crypto, you actually do need to be conscious of the cycles, where if you do buy to hold some things that you really believe in, you don't have to really care about it. You just hold it forever and it will go up. But with crypto, there's such big fluctuations because of this emotional aspect that you can really miss out on the fundamental growth if you don't read the markets properly. So with that in mind, I started investing in it, and I bought my first Bitcoin then, which was £3,000, and this was at the very beginning of the last bull run, which I was effectively forced to do because of my demand that I got. But I bought the £3,000 Bitcoin. I bought a bunch of miners. So I had like 48 GPU miners that was mining Ethereum and Monero and a bunch of other things within my garage, which my wife laughed at me for. And this was before electricity prices in the UK went psychotic. So you made a lot of profit then, but you won't make any today. And then I bought some cloud mining in Norway, where you buy the capacity of miners and you just get whatever that mines in that period. I bought some miners I parked on a farm in China. And then all the profits I made, or all the crypto I made from all of these things, I pushed into crypto.com, which had a massive APR at that stage, 20%. And I also used a thing called the supercharger over there, where if you park your CRO coins there, you would earn other coins, and some of them had really good returns. So in the process of a year and a half, I took my original 13,000 investment and I made it £300,000. But then, which was a good return, but I was in it because I really believed in crypto at that stage, so I wanted to keep it. But then when we started building Wolfies originally, we started building Wolfies in the middle of COVID. And when our build started, all of a sudden, the budget went from 280 to 500. And the reason why it went that big was because cans of paint that used to cost £5 all of a sudden started costing £50 because of COVID and Brexit and everything that was happening. So we were in this predicament where we had to pay, but we didn't want or could borrow any money or do anything of sorts. So at that stage, my wife said, "You're selling your crypto and you're paying for this restaurant." And I was like, "No, I'm not." She said, "No, I am." So I won that fight clearly. And then and then I sold it and I paid. But the interesting aspect of it was that I sold in the very week that Bitcoin peaked. I think it was like £58,000 or something at that stage. So I grabbed the whole bull cycle, both due to my external environment, not because I was intelligent or smart or anything of sorts. But that's why Wolfy is very rich in crypto, because it was paid for in crypto, the majority of it. And then once I started talking a bit about my story at some stage, I think they call themselves the Bitcoin Collective or something of sorts. They contacted me on X and said, we saw your story. Do you want to accept Bitcoin in Wolfies? I said, yeah, I would love to accept Bitcoin and Wolfies and the Blue Mango Salon or other business, but how difficult is it? Because that's the thing. And they said, no, they'll set me up. They've got the Bitcoin Lite network. It's instant, etc. So they came over and it's technically just a wallet where you create the code and people scan it and send it over. So we implemented that on our iPads because we've got iPads in both businesses that the staff use for a multitude of things. And then I was accepting Bitcoin for about, I think, probably a year and a half. And then Chris contacted me and said, have you ever thought about CAS? And then I'm like, okay, well, what is CAS? I don't know what this is, but tell me about it. And he and Levine said, well, they'll pop over and come chat with me. So they came over one day.
How did that happen? Did they just turn up in your bar one day by accident and then get talking to you, or
Well,
was it from Blockchain Banter?
yeah, no, they just said they're gonna come. They're gonna come over when am I there? And I said, let's do something on Thursday evening. And then Chris, Tommy's brother, and Levendi showed up, and we just started drinking beers because we drink beers out of Viking horns in Wolfies. So we started drinking beers, and I mean, you've met Chris, right? Original or
Yeah,
heard him? Yeah. So
I met him. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So Chris tends to
He gave me this T-shirt.
Yes, yeah. So when Chris starts talking Cas, he starts talking Cas. So you can't really stop him. And before you know it, you know everything about Cas, and you know the strengths of it. And when you talk to Chris, there's no weaknesses, so you just hear all the strengths of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he told me about it, and I said, "Oh, that's really cool. Let's do it." Because it's just a wallet. It's not difficult to do, and my staff is already trained. So that's how I switched over to CAS. And at that stage, I already did a space every week called NFT Tuesdays, which was for my NFT. So I've had the Wolfie Sport NFT at that stage. And then Lavendi and Chris just said, your beard is so magnificent. Can we not bring that on Blockchain Banter? And I said, yeah, of course, man. There's clearly not enough beards on Blockchain Banter, so we need to enrich it. And they pulled me in, and then I started hosting the one show a week. And of course, on Mondays, we tend to all hitch up there and do our best. But yeah, that's the story of crypto and Wolfies and other businesses.
That's a great story. Yeah. Did you say thanks to your wife for making you sell it at the right time?
Yeah, of course. But you thank your wife every day, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just on KRC 721. The NFTs that our Caspeks are going to bring out in Kaspa. Do you think you'll try and do anything on that, or is it too much hassle? You're going to stick on Sol? Or have you thought about that?
You've put me in a position now because yes, I am. I'm going to switch my whole collection over, so I'm going to do 8,000 on that as soon as that opens up. For a multitude of reasons. I mean, apart from the fact that KOC 20 coin, my Wolfy coin, is on CAS already, it just brings a lot more liquidity to my NFT and the coin in that context. But most of all, the reason why I am in Web3 is far more than any financial pursuit. The reason why I'm in Web3 and why I've launched is as a multiple entrepreneur now over the last 20 for businesses, I can see how entrepreneurship is dying, and it's dying at the speed of light. It's become too expensive. No one has the money to start anything because of all the regulations and rules and nonsense that's out there. There's no access to finance anymore. Young people are not taught how to be entrepreneurial because of how we've pursued this weird dystopia world where it's just specific rules and you can't go behind the outside or color outside of the lines. And for me, I think the whole thing is failing. And if we lose entrepreneurship, we're going to a very, very dark place. So for me, I know that we need to do quite a few changes in context of business. One would be the structures of entities and how they function. Now, my NFT pursuit was to do that exactly because I own a bunch of shares, and I mean, I own big pieces of shares. So like even my Tesla investments, which I bought in 2012, is like worth £600,000 today. But I can't have any influence on anything in context of that because you get this illusion that you can do votes and you can participate on a company where you have ownership of shares. But the reality of it is you do not because of the size of these things. Where with the NFT community structure, you have people that's far more involved, far more community oriented, and not just in the sense of the words, because I know it's a buzzword being misused across the board, but in context of the individuals and their participation of the entity and how their views and things can be reflected and shown. So my whole idea behind this was to create that and change the way we do business in that aspect. And then the coin also is because I'm a firm believer that our vote as individuals has been removed. And what I mean by that is if you think about what expenditure is when you purchase things, you're actually indicating what it is that you value. What is the things that you value enough to let go of your money to engage in it? And as a collective or as a community, when we all do that, the things that has value grows and gets expanded and gets refined. But what happens over the last 2 decades with the successive printing of money is that governments muted your democracy or your vote in regards to what your money indicates what you value by the printing of money and pushing it upon things that you do not even believe in, hence war, hence funding of all kinds of nonsense. And in essence, that's why when you walk around and you see small businesses or businesses that you really believe in, you love their product going under, and you don't, I mean, it's incomprehensible why everybody loves them. And that's because of the skewed economics we have. So the whole concept of crypto and the coin that I've launched is about eliminating that piece and giving power back to people in context of what they're voting for with their money. So CAS is very much in regards to that aspect, a very functional technology to facilitate that. So for me, I am a very big advocate of CAS now. But there's another thing, because I've been in the space for a while, I've seen all the nonsense and I've seen the lack of intelligence in context of investments and how people perceive these things. I mean, if you on any KRC20 space, Telegram and things, and you listen to some of the people there and you talk to some of the people there, they've got zero understanding or interest on how these things work at all. They don't care. They're just there for significance and they want to just make quick money. But for me, I believe that we need to make crypto more stable in context of actually providing products and services that's valuable. So I really want to move my NFT on CAS for that reason, because I want the CAS community's first NFTs and first utility coins and stuff be of high value so that it actually can facilitate or be something that people can reflect on and look upon when they open up their own projects, but give the whole industry effect or the whole CAS project significance or relevance in regards to what it is that we're pursuing as a group. So I think it's a great space for me to be there. And even if Wolfies is not the most successful NFT or token or any of these things, it doesn't matter as long as I get those values and those reasoning put across, and we actually get projects in that pursues the same thing: real products, real services, real value. Because the reality of it is that's the only way you get mass adoption. A lot of guys in CAS and KOC20 talks about, it's secluded and it's not growing. Yes, it's not growing because we're not building the environment for this to grow, and that's my goal. That's what I want to try and do with all of this, and that's what I'm pursuing with this all. I mean, Chris and Levine and all of these guys always ask me, like, why don't you just open up more trucks, get investors? And like, I don't need investors to do that. The whole idea behind this project of mine is not financially oriented. It's about creating a structure or an entity that effectively facilitates the future in regards to entrepreneurship and how products or businesses can engage in this environment. If that all makes
Was it
sense.
was it your idea, the way the whole NFT, store NFTs, and the more NFTs you have, the more rewards you get? Was it your idea, that kind of how it works between the Wolfy token and the NFTs? Did you
It's
see
just
that done?
pure, yeah. It's my idea, but it's just pure numbers. The more NFTs you own, the more off the pot you get, because literally the pot is a very simple calculation. Whatever the revenue is, you divide it by the amount of NFTs that's out there, and then if you're owner of the NFTs, you just times the amount of NFTs that guy owns against the average revenue share per NFT, and that's your
Yeah,
revenue share. So it's very simple,
yeah.
equation wise.
Right.
But yeah, that's the idea.
Um, Two quick questions before you go, because I know you like to get up early and go to the gym and all that kind of stuff. Like stupid
No,
o'clock, 4 in the morning to go to
oh
the gym,
yes,
wasn't it?
yes,
Jeez.
4 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you got many new customers since you started accepting CAS? Since you've been on the CAS ecosystem and talking on blockchain banter, and have you got more like a kind of Kaspa community going to you and getting
Yes.
beers? Or yeah, you have it.
Yeah. I've got multiple types of people that come in anyhow. So I always have the Bitcoiners that come in, but over the years, because I've put myself out there a lot, I've got a lot of people that come engage with me in regards to products that they want to launch. So I've had about 4 or 5 meetings over the last couple of months with people that's developing POS systems that's crypto oriented in regards to retail. So I have all of those types of engagements, and then the CAS community. When I started accepting CAS, they started floating in quite a few of them, and my my most interesting observation about that is that because I've got all of these communities, so I've got like the Bitcoin Collective meeting at Wolfy Spar, and I've had the Inferior Gums and a bunch of other people. People tend to be quite maxi in regards to the blockchain that they've bought into or believe in context of these groups. So the discussions are very centered around that. I found the CAS community to be way more open-minded in regards to overall crypto, and I think it's because of the age of CAS, and the people that's buying into them tend to have been in the game a bit, so they actually know a bit about other things. So I find them quite a lot more open-minded in regards to all the other technologies and how you use crypto. I find them very, very, very intrigued intellectually about why I am pursuing the things I do. So most of them end up talking to me for an hour and a half to 2 hours, where they go into every aspect. What's my view of the future of cryptocurrency? How do I integrate it with it? Do I think this will grow? How do I think things will grow? And then we have these extensive type of interviews in regards to that. So I found the cast community to be very enlightening and very rich and thought in regards to this space. Um, I can't say I could say the same of the KOC20 community. That's a bit messy,
Right. Okay.
but overall, cast people are great.
Okay. So I have two brothers living in London. So if I go over to visit and I make it to Wolfie's bar because I have a few NFTs, do I get a free beer in the Viking
Yes,
Horn?
yes, you
I
do.
do.
Yeah, and your brothers also, because you've got enough NFTs to cover all of them. And in fact, you can send your brothers over anyway. They can use your NFT utility at Wolfy Sport at any time.
Okay. Okay. We'll see how they go.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, just send them over, and I'll have a few beers with them myself.
Cool. Brilliant. They haven't got a clue about crypto. No interest. They don't know what Kaspa is. I put it up in the family group. We have a family WhatsApp group. 2 years ago, I put it up when it was like 1 cent. Now, one sister had an interest, so she's doing well, but the rest of them didn't listen. So, yeah,
I've
what can you do?
I've built substantial wealth through it over the years, and my family still ignores me when I talk about this every single time.
Yeah,
But I mean, to be honest with you, I think overall through the years that's been the case with me in regards to all things, from investments to businesses to how you need to purchase your first properties. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever listened to me in my in my family in any of
yeah.
this. This is just how it goes, you know. But yeah,
Well, they have
they
to listen to you. You wouldn't have that nice bar if you hadn't invested in Bitcoin and mined it.
yeah.
You know.
Well, I
So
wouldn't have any of the things I have if I didn't pursue the things the way I did. But they don't
yeah,
see it that way. But I think, I mean, there's a broader argument around these things, right? So why do people do the things they do? And you usually get driven by very specific what do you call it, values, and one of the core values which happens across the board, which I'm very against, is the value of significance. So a lot of people chase significance, even though they wouldn't think that because they don't have a lot. But if you always fail, and in a lot of instances, the reason why they do not listen is because it counters their chase of significance, because then they have to be truthful about what it is they're actually doing. So I think you'll always have that problem. It doesn't really matter whether it's crypto or not crypto, or business or not. It's just universally people won't think of it in that way or listen to you in that way. And it's, I mean, it's a story as all this time. You can listen to any successful entrepreneur; they'll tell you these stories about how isolating it is and how people start to stop being an advocate that you need to succeed. Um, so yeah, it's just one of those things.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. No, that's all I have for you. Just it's great that you. I know I only messaged you like an hour ago asking would you be interested in coming on because it's hard to get time with Christmas and family are visiting. So I don't want to look too ignorant, but they're all watching a movie, so I
Yeah,
got out here and I did this, did you? But no, it's good to be part of the Wolfy community, and I'm interested to see how it goes in the future. So I wish you all the best of luck, and thanks for coming on and talking to us. And
no worries, man.
hopefully you'll come back on and talk to us in the future. Let us know how it's going.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, happy to come talk every time we do something significant. Either way, it's
Yeah,
always good to just put my face out there and show people what's going on, and just show them that I'm human, and that I do make my mistakes and I do make my wins, and that's just the way it goes.
yeah, yeah. Okay, no problem. Thanks, Wolf. I'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, buddy.
See you later.
No worries.